So, I don't ever do contest entry, man. But this guy, man, that I've been watching, remember Porkins? Always commenting on my videos and stuff. And just, man, really, really enjoy watching his videos and stuff, man. Huge Star Wars fan. It's awesome. Has just reached 100 subs, Congrats, man, on your 100 subs. Uh, that's a big milestone for anybody on here, hitting that 100 subs, man. I know when you've got like 20 subs, 25 subs, it doesn't seem like you're ever going to get to 100, and then you get to 100, man, it's a big deal. And, you know, after that, man, sky's the limit, man. Uh, so, yeah, man, he's having a contest for his 100 subs, man, got a lot of prizes. I don't want the prizes, man. Please, Claude, don't enter me in your prizes, man. If you see this video, don't enter me in your prizes. I don't like winning contests. So, give it to somebody that's a little more deserving. But I really want to go through and answer your questions because I like your questions. So, the first question is, what's your most memorable moment in comic book collecting? Well, I'm going to answer this twice. Because Porkins is such a big Star Wars fan, I would like to flash back to 1976 and a very young wonky ninja. And when I was in first grade, man, Star Wars came out. And it was such a big deal to go see Star Wars. And everybody was trying to one-up each other and go see it. Who's seen Star Wars the most times? This, that, and the other. Uh, Man, my dad was a trooper and my mom was a trooper. Uh, I went and saw the episode 4 of Star Wars at the theater 63 times when it very first came out. We went basically every other day and saw Star Wars until they were just blue in the face. So much so that when Empire Strikes Back came out, they didn't even tell me that it came out. I didn't learn about Empire Strikes Back. There was no internet back then, so I didn't learn about Empire Strikes Back until Return of the Jedi was coming out. And my brother was a huge Return of the Jedi fan, and so I had to sit through that movie God knows how many times, man. God, I sat through that movie a lot of times watching that with him. But they told me, man, it's payback for watching Star Wars. So, it was what it was. As far as comic books go, my greatest comic book memory is my dad was big into baseball cards and me collecting baseball cards. And I wanted to collect comic books, because I read some Fantastic Four and it was awesome. And I wanted to read comics, and I tried to read comics. He wouldn't give me any money to collect comics. And, an allowance only goes so far. But he loved Mad Magazine. And Sergio Aragonis was, an artist on Mad Magazine. And so when Gru came out, he gave me a whole $1 to go and buy a Gru comic. And it's awesome, man, that I got this sketch from Sergio Aragonis. But Gru number 1 is one of my best memories. He gave me a whole $1 bill to go to the gas station and grab this Gru number 1 off the shelf. My off-the-shelf copy sucks, and so this is actually a copy I rebought, but was cool because, I got it signed with the sketch by Sergio Aragonis, which is awesome. And, yeah, I mean, that's definitely my greatest comic book memory. Collected that series for about 10 years, and it was awesome. Number 2 was, how do you prefer to read your comic books? I watch YouTube videos, or put on something in the background I've watched a million times, like Guardians of the Galaxy or something, because I like background noise whenever I'm reading. It doesn't matter whether or not I'm reading comics or reading a book or whatever. I like background noise. Now, sometimes I'll read a book while I'm listening to an audiobook. Uh, you know, so yeah, I mean, that's the way I prefer to do it, in solitude with some kind of background noise. His number three question was, who would win between Batman and the X-Men? Well, if it was a DC Universe character, Batman definitely. But because of the fact he would never see the X-Men coming out of Marvel, man, easily X-Men. They would wipe the floor with him. He would just be sitting there going, "Dude," the whole time that they were beating his ass. Uh, I mean, just Wolverine alone would beat the snot out of Batman if he didn't see it coming. I mean, Storm would flood the Batcave, and then he would have no computers. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely X-Men in that case. What does AT-AT mean? AT-AT means armored transport, all-terrain vehicle. Uh, I like the ATST, the scout vehicle, better, even though the Ewoks beat the shit out of it in return. I like the grasshopper walker a whole lot better than I like the AT-AT. I mean, the AT-AT's big and intimidating and everything, man. And I mean, I had the AT-AT, you know, I don't know, it's not an action figure. What is it? I don't know. The AT-AT vehicle, which was pretty cool. But yeah, man, I like the ATST a lot better than I do the AT-AT. What does condition matter whenever you're looking at a book? Uh, it depends on what book it is and how expensive it is. You know, if I'm looking at something like the first appearance of Guy Gardner that I got, uh, I could buy that at like a 9.0 and I would pay like 1,200 bucks, or I could buy that at a 7.5 and you know get it for like 650. And I would rather go for the 7.5 just because I would like to have it in my collection. And to me, in between like an 8.0 and a 9.2, to me, there's not a lot of difference. There are some books, first appearance of Psylocke. Uh, I waited a long time to get a 9.8 on that book because I really didn't want a 9.4 on that book. Waited a long time to get a 9.8 on that book at the price I wanted. Uh, First appearance of She-Hulk. Uh, I'm still waiting on that book, but I want it at a 9.8. I don't want to do 9.4. Uh, First appearance of Cyborg and Starfire and Raven in DC Presents 26. I've got multiple copies of that book, and you know, I originally bought it at a 9.0, and then I bought a 9.4, and then I bought a 9.8, and I've also got a 3.0 in that book. You know, condition matters, man, but only if you're going to give me a book that's going to be of a relatively decent price. Otherwise, I just want it in my collection. You know, if I get a Hulk 181 or a Supersize X-Men annual #1, those books are books that I'm going to compromise on like a 6.0 or a 7 because I'm not going to pay full price for those books. I would just like to have them in my collection. So, you know, I mean, it depends. But, yeah, man. About done babbling. I'm going to get off here. Congratulations, Claude, on your 100 subs. Like I say, please don't enter me in your contest, man. Give it to somebody that's more deserving than me. And I'm going to get off here and get around and read some books, y'all.